Time to tell tales of the unaccountables, of apparitions by night and phantoms in shadow. Time to tell strange stories of fantasy and the supernatural. Theater 1030 presents The Yellow Wallpaper, a strange tale of the supernatural by George Selson, starring Toby Tarnow as Alice, Sylvia Lennox as Jenny, and Paul Kligman as John.
That wallpaper in the upstairs room. It's really very strange. It creeps. It seems to creep around the wall. And the pattern. Very strange and yellow. I wonder what gave me the feeling there was a woman behind it. John? Where are you, John?
Alice, come and look at the beautiful rose garden.
Coming. Oh, Jenny. Aren't they beautiful? Isn't this the most heavenly place?
Where did you get to?
Oh, I couldn't wait. I simply ran through the house, looking at everything.
Now, Alice, you must conserve your strength.
Oh, Jenny. Just because you're John's sister, you don't have to talk as though you, too, were a very important doctor with a very disobedient patient.
I'm sorry, dear.
Perhaps if he weren't a physician, I'd get well faster.
What a strange remark.
Strange? Why? You see, he doesn't believe I'm sick.
But you aren't.
You see, that's what he tells everyone. Temporary nervous depression. When the great physician says so, what is one to do?
Just what he tells you, of course.
Oh, I know. Tonics and phosphates and air and exercise and lots of rest out here in the country. Oh, Jenny, I could work here in this divine estate.
You're not to work. You're not even to think of your stories.
I might sneak in just a little writing when John's in the city. You wouldn't tell, Jenny.
Oh, no, you don't. I most certainly would tell.
So where is my devoted husband all this time?
He went down to the stable to check up on the hired man, I think. The horses, you know.
Precious horses in the carriage. He trusts them to know what.
Well, he's a doctor, dear. They're important. And he never knows when
let's
he'll
not
be...
talk about those night calls. I don't want to think of him rushing away from me. I want to think about this lovely place.
Hello.
Oh, there he is now. John? It's so perfect.
Good, darling. I'm sure this was an excellent choice.
Well, it isn't often that mere ordinary people like us have an ancestral hall for the summer.
That's right. It is a colonial mansion.
How romantic. Do you know something? I think it's haunted.
There she goes with her stories again.
No, I mean it. I'd be very proud to live in a haunted mansion.
Now, Alice.
I'm sure of it. There's something queer about it.
What's so queer about it?
And if there isn't, why do we get it so cheaply? And why haven't there been other tenants for so long?
I told you there was legal trouble between the heirs to the estate.
Oh, dear. That spoils my ghostliness, doesn't it?
I'm afraid so.
I love it anyway. It's like one of those English places you read about. Hedges and walls and gates that lock. And all those separate little houses for the gardeners and people. And those delicious little vine-covered arbors.
You'll be happy here, dear.
Well, if I'm going to be the housekeeper for you lovebirds, I think I'll start dinner.
Do that, Jenny. And Alice and I will have a look around inside. My arm, madame.
Why, thank you, Doctor. I am going to be much better here, John. I know it.
And this is our room.
This room?
Don't you like it?
I don't know.
Well, look at the size of it. Large and airy. That's the advantage of the top floor. All one big room with windows looking in all directions. And most important, plenty of air and sunshine.
I suppose so. I wonder what it was.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, was it a nursery, perhaps? A playground? A kind of gymnasium?
Why do you say that?
Well, the bars and the windows. That must have been for little children. And there are rings and things in the walls.
Well, you're probably right.
And the wallpaper. Oh, John, just look at it.
Well, what about the wallpaper?
An incredible pattern.
Yes, I have seen better.
It's calculated by some mad artist to force the eye to follow it. Where does it go? Nowhere but into mad confusion.
The room may have drawbacks, but the advantages outweigh them, dear.
But there's no furniture. Only that great room to the bedstead.
I'm having some things moved in from downstairs.
As if the pattern on the paper isn't bad enough, you've torn it off in places.
Who has?
Look, there, around the bed. And down there in the corner. Children, I suppose. If this was a playroom of some kind.
Oh, I dare say it was.
The bed's all scratched and nicked as though it had been through the wall.
Well, when it's made up, you won't notice that.
They must have been boys. And really rambunctious boys. Do you suppose our baby will grow up to be so rough?
Oh, he better not. Alice, every other way the room is ideal. It's the reason I took the house. You can rest here with the sun from all sides and the air blowing through.
I suppose you're right. What color would you say that is?
What color would I say what is?
The wallpaper.
Yellow, of course.
The strangest yellow. It makes me think of all the yellow things I ever saw. Not beautiful ones like buttercups, but old, foul, bad yellow things.
Now, it's not as bad as that. Come on. Let's see if Jenny has the food ready.
All right. Well, I can see it was a nice, safe place for those boys to play. But they must have hated the wallpaper even more than I do.
You silly goose.
What? What is it? Wake up. Let me wake up. Creeping. She's creeping. No, I'm dreaming. Oh, can't I wake up? Keep away. What do you want? Oh, let me wake up. I want to wake up. Who are you? What do you want? Alice, was that you? Where's John? He had to stay overnight in the city. What is it, darling? You screamed so loudly. Really? Did I scream? Somebody did. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, put the lamp down and hold me a moment, Jenny. Oh, Alice, darling. There, dear. What is it? Oh, I'm sorry. It was one of those dreams. You know, when something's coming at you, and you know you're dreaming, and you want to wake up, and it keeps coming, and you can't wake up. Oh, I know. Simply awful. I'm sorry. I feel so silly.
It happens to everybody.
It was all about a woman. A dream? Yes. She was going round and round the room. I wondered what she was doing. Yes. And I realized she was creeping. Searching. Like an animal in a cage.
Alice, really?
Oh, I know. Then she saw me. That's when I wanted to wake up, and I couldn't. She saw me, and she came creeping towards the bed. How awful. I knew she was going to use me somehow. She was going to take my body and pretend she was me and escape. And I started to scream.
You certainly did. But you'd better not think about it anymore. I'll get you some hot chocolate.
You're so good to me, Jenny. Taking care of baby and me, too. I'll be so glad when John says I'm strong enough to look after things for myself again.
That won't be long.
Jenny, do you think John would agree to repapering the room?
What made you think of that? I'll get the hot drink, and then you go back to sleep, and no more nightmares.
New wallpaper, dear?
Yes. Beautiful roses flashing all over the walls.
Dear, now we must be sensible.
All right. Sensible wallpaper, then.
But, Alice, we have the place only for the summer.
But that's yellow wallpaper.
I can't go along with such a foolish expense. And even more important, I don't want a thing like this to get the better of you.
But it's not a question of it's getting the better of me. I just don't like that wallpaper.
Oh, darling, listen. I've told you nothing could be worse for a nervous patient than to give way to such fancies.
Oh, John, not even sensible wallpaper. All right.
You know, the place is doing you good.
I know. And in a way, I'm growing quite fond of this room.
And why wouldn't you? Just look out that window. Hard to beat a view like that, with the bay and the little private wharf and the flower gardens. I wish we could afford to own a place like this.
Yes, so lovely. Imagine a beautiful estate like this going to waste because of some silly old legal tangle. What could cause such a thing?
Well, I don't know. Something caused trouble about the will.
It's rather fascinating. That beautiful shaded lane running down to the water. And all those paths and arbors. You can almost imagine people walking through all of them.
Alice, I don't want you to give way to fancy.
I wasn't giving way to fancy, dear. I was only commenting.
With your imaginative power and your habit of story-making, your profession, a nervous weakness like yours could lead to all sorts of excited fancies.
But, darling...
You must use your will and good sense to check the tendency.
Darling, I wish you'd stop talking that way. You're making me nervous.
It's for your own good.
It wouldn't matter if you weren't such an authoritative medical man. So impressive. But you frighten me when you say things like that.
I'm sorry. That wasn't what I meant to do. Of course, it's not as serious as I must have sounded. Forgive me?
Of course. Sweet.
Dear.
I do love this room. Except that horrible wallpaper. It's really very strange to lie here in this heavy old boot of a bedstead under the barred windows, looking at that wallpaper. It looks as if it knows what a vicious influence it has. Oh, there's a spot where the pattern lolls like a broken neck, and two bulbous eyes stare at you upside down. Up and down and sideways they crawl, and those absurd eyes are everywhere. Over there, two bits of paper don't match. The eyes go all up and down the line, one a little higher than the other. I never saw such an expression on... Who is it? Who's there?
It's only me, darling.
Oh, you startled me, John.
I'm sorry, dear. Oh, my.
Oh, you poor darling. You're so tired. Come to bed.
No, I've been at the hospital all night. There was a bad fire this evening.
Oh, how horrible.
I'll just lie here for a moment. And how are you?
Oh, I've been resting. Lying here so much of the time. John, will I ever get over this awful listlessness?
Of course. Good for you to rest.
Poor dear. Now you're the one who must rest.
Well, I'll be all right in a moment.
John, that wallpaper, it keeps me awake.
Awake? I'll give you a sedative.
Oh, no, lie still. You know how you keep seeing new things and queer patterns? Everybody does it.
I suppose so.
I remember when I was a little girl, what a kindly wink the knobs of our big old bureau had. It was like a friend.
That's so?
Yes. John, this wallpaper, sometimes it looks as if it had another pattern underneath, in a different shade, a very irritating shade of yellow. You can only see it in certain lights. I almost imagine the pattern underneath is some sort of figure, as if something were trapped behind that horrible and silly out of design. John, I had that dream again the other night about the creeping woman who wanted to escape from this room and who meant to enter into me somehow and get away. Do you think this room could be haunted? John? Poor darling. I got the courage to say a thing like that to you, and you don't hear a word. Well, perhaps it's just as well. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, Mother, darling. Goodbye, Nellie.
I'll be with you folks in a moment. Goodbye, Alice. I'll go on to the hospital after I take your mother and sister home.
It was nice to see them again.
I hope it didn't tire you too much.
Oh, no. After all, Jenny sees to everything now.
Good. Bye, dear.
Bye.
Bye, Jenny.
Bye.
Well, that was a nice little visit.
It tired me all the same, Jenny.
Oh, you'd better rest, dear.
John says if I don't pick up faster, he'll send me to Weir Mitchell in the fall.
I know Dr. Mitchell. He's very nice.
No. I had a friend who went to him once. He said he was just like John, only more so.
Is there anything wrong with that?
I suppose not. It's such an undertaking to go so far.
Far? It's not far, Alice. Not from your house in the city.
Jenny, I don't feel it's worthwhile doing anything.
Oh, now you're just tired. Lie down and rest.
Look at me. I cry over nothing. Oh, don't tell John I've been doing that, Jenny, will you?
No, I won't. Why don't you lie down?
No. I think I'll walk a little in the garden. Or down that lovely lane. Or sit on the porch under the roses.
Do whatever you like, dear.
No. I think I'll go to my room.
All right, dear.
You know, I'm becoming very fond of that room.
Have a good rest, then. I'll get the tea things tidied away.
It dwells in my mind so, creeping around the wall. Dwells in my mind without effort, as if there was someone else's thoughts. I lie here on this great immovable bed. I do believe it's nailed down, and follow that crazy pattern by the hour. Follow it. Follow it.
Follow it. It's as good as gymnastics, I assure you.
Gymnastics?
Yes, I'll show you. We'll start at the bottom.
Where?
Down there. There in the corner where it hasn't been touched.
Oh, those children must have hated it.
Because it's torn off in those places? Never mind that. I'll show you.
What? What will you show me?
How to follow it. Follow it. Follow it. Follow it. Follow it to some sort of conclusion.
Oh, but you can't. It doesn't go anywhere.
Never mind. Follow it. Follow it. Look. Here, the lines go. Along the wall. Along here. Look. And follow it. Follow it. Oh, there you go, you terrible sprawling outlines. Running off in all directions. You're like a lot of wallowing seaweed in full chase.
Oh, it all makes me so tired. I'll let me sleep.
No. Follow it. Follow it.
I can't follow it. It goes nowhere.
Once more. Follow it once more. Try from the other corner. This time I think you can follow it.
John, dear, I must talk to you.
Now, Alice, not tonight. I'm going to turn out the lights. We both need our sleep.
Oh, I know it's all doing me so much good. And I'm simply overflowing with cod liver oil and tonics and ale and wine and rare meat and heaven knows what.
Of course it's doing you good. The country air, the food. You've got some weight on you, some color in your cheeks.
Oh, John, please listen to me. I do wish you'd let me go and make a visit to Cousin Henry and Julia.
Now, and undo all our good work just when we're beginning to get somewhere?
Please, John, if I could only make you understand.
It's a good sign, my dear. You're getting restless. The patient improves. Don't think any more about it. Now, off to sleep with you. Good night.
Good night, John. I suppose it is better. If we weren't in this room, then the baby would be. Poor child. The poor, impressionable little thing. I can stand it so much better. John? Sleep. Oh, why don't you take me away from here?
Don't tell him.
Oh, no, I won't tell him.
There are things in that paper nobody knows but you.
What things?
See, behind the pattern, the dim shapes get clearer every day. See it? Like a woman stooping and creeping around behind the pattern.
Oh, why does it creep so slowly?
It always creeps slowly by moonlight. See, the paper is moving.
Oh, no, it can't be moving.
Get out of the bed. Go and look.
But, John...
He's asleep. Now, creep over to it. There, right there. The woman behind is shaking the pattern. Put your hand on it. Feel it. Right there. Feel it.
Alice? What are you doing?
It's all right, dear.
What are you doing out of bed?
I wanted to look out of the window.
Out of the window? Why?
I thought I heard a sound.
Did you?
No. I was dreaming. I'm sorry I woke you.
That's all right. I don't want you going around in your bare feet.
I didn't think. Good night, darling.
Night.
No. I really wouldn't want the baby to be in this room. Jenny?
What? Who is it?
What are you doing, Jenny?
Oh, Alice, you startled me. I didn't hear you come in.
I'm sorry. It startled me, too, seeing you there.
Oh?
It seemed such an odd thing. Standing like that with your hand on my wallpaper.
Look, it stains my hand.
Oh?
It stains everything it touches. There are yellow stains on all your clothes, Alice.
Really?
I do wish you'd be more careful.
I will. Much more careful.
Well, I suppose it doesn't matter. This is the last day.
That's right. The last day.
Would you like to come downstairs and keep me company while I finish the packing?
No. John would want me to lie down and rest.
Well, then I'll let you sleep till he comes.
Yes. Let me know when John comes.
Alice, are you sure you wouldn't rather come downstairs?
Oh, no, Jenny. You wouldn't want me to make John angry. No. I'll stay here.
All right.
Now. The key. A safe place for the key. There. It fell under the plantain leaf. Perfect. Now, you have to get that woman out from behind the wallpaper. The pattern does move. The woman behind shakes it. Sometimes she crawls around fast, and her pulling shakes it all over. Sometimes she just takes hold of the bars and shakes them hard. She's trying to climb through, but nobody could climb through that pattern. It strangles so. That's why it has so many heads. There were other women who tried to get through, and the pattern strangled them off and turned them upside down, and that's why the staring eyes are so white. I must get that woman out of there. Do you know something? What? That woman does get out in the daytime. No. Yes. I can see her from every one of my windows. I don't believe it. Then look down there. See? She's in the long, shaded lane. But is that the same woman? Of course it is. She's always creeping. And most women don't creep by daylight. No? I suppose not. Look. She's creeping on that long road under the trees. And there's a carriage coming. She's hiding under the blackberry vines. I don't blame her a bit. It must be very humiliating to be caught creeping by daylight. Oh, it is. I always lock the door when I creep by daylight. I can't do it at night. John would suspect something at once. Oh, you better hurry. You haven't much time. That's right. I don't want anybody to interrupt me until John comes. I want to astonish him. How? What's that rope for? I hid that where even Jenny didn't find it. If that woman does get out and tries to get away, I can tie her. But you have to begin with the top of the pattern. You can't reach it. All right. Let's push the bed over. Oh, this bed will not move. Oh, you got so angry you bit a piece of the corner. That just hurt your teeth. Pull off the paper. You can reach. It sticks so horribly. The pattern just enjoys it. All those strangled heads and bulbous eyes and waddling fungus growth. I have an idea. Why don't you jump out the window? Oh, no. No, I don't like to look at all those creeping women. I wonder if they all come out of that wallpaper, as I did. I suppose I shall have to get behind the paper when it comes night. And that is hard. It's so pleasant to be out in this great room and creep around as I please. I won't go outside, even if Jenny asks me to. Outside, everything is green instead of yellow. And here I can creep smoothly on the floor. And my shoulder just fits in that long, smooth round the wall. So I cannot lose my way. I cannot lose my...
Alice!
Why, it's John.
Alice, will you please open the door?
How he does call.
Alice! Will you hurry?
John? John, dear. The key is down by the front steps, under a plantain leaf.
Darling, please open the door.
I can't. The key is under the plantain leaf. Oh, that's better. He's gone for it. And now I can go on, around and around. Oh, my. Didn't he do that quickly? There he is inside the door.
For heaven's sake, Alice, what are you doing?
I got out at last. I pulled out the paper so you can't put me back.
Alice!
Oh, isn't that strange? Why should that man have fainted? But he has. Right across my path by the wall. So that I have to creep over him every time.
Theater 1030 has presented The Yellow Wallpaper, a strange tale of the supernatural by George Selverson, starring Toby Tarnow as Alice, Sylvia Lennox as Jenny, and Paul Kligman as John. Sound effects were by Alex Sheridan. Technical operation, Ian Jacobson. This is Bill Lorne speaking.
Now's the time to tell tales of the unaccountable, of apparitions by night and phantoms in shadow. Time to tell strange stories of fantasy and the supernatural. Theater 1030 presents Trespassers Will Be Experimented Upon, a horror story told in the inimitable style of Anthony Lee Flanders, with John Scott as Nigel, Donna Miller as Vanessa, and Sandy Webster as the wicked, wicked Baron. Trespassers beware. This could happen to you.
Of course it's all your fault, Nigel. You suggested we drive across this blasted country just because it's your homeland. I know it's very pleasant to go back and all that. Nigel, really, all across Canada.
Vanessa, my love, perhaps it wasn't the wisest decision of my life. However, I've often maintained in the international press that I love my native Canada. And how would it look if I just whizzed in and out of again?
Frankly, I don't give a damn how it looks. At least we could have avoided these tedious prairies, this flatness, this barren wasteland, where no event of nature rises up to across my jaded eye with a delightful new audio-visual experience. Just this endless, infinite flatness. And at night, oh, Nigel, it's positively eerie. Don't you feel that?
Vanessa, darling, it's here on this undulating prairie that my first scientific discovery occurred. It eventually led to my Nobel Prize, which led to my second, third, fourth, and fifth Nobel Prize. Which, of course, led me to you, Vanessa. You, the most beautiful of all women. Internationally acclaimed sex symbol. Object of desire in the eyes of 100 million auto-manipulative men.
But it's night on the prairies, and it frightens me, Nigel.
Don't be frightened, my little passion flower, my petite bijou, my pearl of the prairies.
Oh, Nigel, you're so strong, so masterful.
I, Nigel Herdstrom, winner of 5 Nobel Prizes for scientific endeavors, pursuits, discoveries, and whatnot. I, of all people, understand the forces of the natural and the supernatural.
Oh, Nigel, hear that?
Snuggle up beside me, my little love flesh.
I'm truly frightened.
There is nothing to fear. I myself used to walk alone on the prairies on nights like this, with the rising wind howling across these bleak and barren misty fields.
Oh, I don't like it here, Nigel. Oh, it sounded so adventuresome. I mean, it was also camp in Calcutta when we planned it. But now, well, Nigel, frankly speaking, I wish I was back in Calcutta.
You must understand. One must listen to things like the wind. The wind has a message for those who will listen.
Well, then, my husband, companion, and lover, what then is the wind saying to you on this night of night?
This is the night I am to meet him.
Who?
The man.
Pray tell, what man might this be?
All my life, I've been smarter, stronger, braver, quicker, cleverer, more cunning, more brilliant than all the others.
True.
Become a crashing bore. I can't stand it facing another day knowing that I'll be right in everything I say and do. You see, I have been waiting for him.
Nigel, my man, my husband, father of my unborn children. Do you mean...
Yes. Tonight, I will meet my equal.
How do you know this?
The wind is telling me. You're never wrong.
The car. What is it? Are we out of gas?
No, Vanessa, my wife, progenitor of my future offspring. It is the way of things.
Oh, can you fix it? The engine, I mean.
I don't want to fix it.
Oh, Nigel, you're a scientific genius. You can fix a simple thing like an internal combustion engine. Do it. Get the hell out of here. I'm petrified.
What? I'm caught out of the greatest challenge of my life. The opportunity to face to face him.
I'm afraid.
You were right to be afraid. This is to be the toughest test of my career. Come, let us face up. Stop. You know we're coming.
I find it strange, Nigel, that a storm of such magnitude should die so quickly. Very strange.
That is the night of the Bald Prairies, my love. Storms come and go very quickly here. You see, now there is the mist.
Yes, Nigel. You needn't treat me as a child. I can plainly see there is mist. What? My God. A great castle rising out of the mist, silhouetted against the moon and the clouds.
He is damnably clever.
And those great birds circling about the towers like ominous guests pirouetting over the victim.
Must you be so pretentious, Vanessa? This is Saskatchewan. There isn't a newspaper for 500 miles, let alone a reporter to note every word which drips from your sensuous lips.
I insist that we leave this very moment.
We will not leave, Vanessa. We will never go backward. We will only go forward. It is the scientific way.
But to go forward means...
Yes. To the castle. She is heading the drawbridge, Lord.
Yes, I can plainly see that, Nigel.
Oh, look, Vanessa.
Huh?
Down there in the water. The piranhas.
Oh, yes. My, they are so cute, Nigel. Do they really?
Strip? Yes. They strip you to the bone in 30 seconds.
We must send some to Mrs. Wallace. She does so love to be fed. Oh!
The door is open. Obviously, we're expected.
How does he know we're here?
The wind has told him. The wind has things to say to those who will listen. Let's go in.
Do you mean enter?
Semantically speaking, yes, that's what I mean. Don't be frightened. It's only a young woman.
But that sound.
It can only be one thing. I've seen it only once before. In the backlands of Peru. An evil immigrant Amazon practices on her slaves. Split the tongue, clip it to the teeth. with a platinum pin. He wants us to follow.
No, we mustn't.
There is no going back now. Lead on, young woman.
She seems a remarkably well-formed young woman.
Yes, indeed she does. If it were not for my intimate knowledge of you, I would say the best formed woman I've ever seen.
Oh, her face is beautiful.
Yes, indeed. The only flaw I see in the woman is that her tongue, being as it is, ruins her for kissing.
On the contrary. You see, you merely unclipped both parts of the tongue. I think you'll find my assistant's French kisses are twice as good as the average.
So, we meet.
Yes, we meet.
Who are you?
In good time, you shall know.
Did you see that, Sancho?
Yes, he swirled his cape about himself and disappeared into it. The last time I saw that done was in Somaliland, I think. Cunning devil.
Perhaps too cunning for us.
And therein lies the challenge.
Why, look. It's a table set for dinner.
With the best of food, the best wine, the best of just about everything in Saskatchewan. It's the most pleasant repast.
Fun.
Of course, I expected nothing less than the ultimate. The Baron, you see, has a sense of style. I admire that in a man. Not only does he accomplish the most fantastic feats, he makes it all appear so simple. Yes, of course, young woman. You may credit it.
Nigel, how did you know what she wanted?
During the meal, I began to learn something of her language. It's relatively simple. It consists of one syllable, pronounced arior.
Oh.
One must decipher the intention from the inflection. To a sensitive man such as myself, it's an easy matter. She wishes to show us to our rooms. Come, Vanessa, to bed.
Is it safe?
Did you take a pill?
Oh, no. I meant, with the Baron and all.
Of course it's safe. But even if it wasn't, do you think we have much of a choice? No, nothing more for the present, thank you. These chambers are perfectly comfortable, charming even. We shall sleep soundly. You may go.
Nigel, I shall never forgive you for getting us into this situation. This is a little much.
Vanessa, my sweet, you must become more adaptable. Your inflexibility has caused us to quarrel on more than one occasion. You know how I loathe to quarrel with one as beautiful as yourself?
Oh, Nigel, you scallywag, you. You're such a rascal.
Your approach to this entire situation should be one of interest. Is your husband really the smartest man in the world? Or is there a greater one? An interesting problem, don't you think? I do, anyway. Perhaps the most interesting of my life.
And just who is this man?
This man, as you call him, is none other than Baron von Schenk.
No.
Yes.
The same Baron von Schenk you spoke of, lo, these many nights, as we lay entwined upon our homey hearth before the great fire in the great fireplace. You with your brandy. I with my creme de menthe.
Indeed. The same Baron von Schenk.
You knew all along. You expected this. Dare I say it? You even planned it.
You discovered my little secret. He thinks he planned it. But that is no consequence. It matters not who planned it. Only that it happened. Mind you, it was inevitable. Neither of us could resist this confrontation.
I fear this Baron von Schenk is no stranger to you.
You are quite correct. The Baron and I are old friends. Many years ago, when I was but a youth, I would lie on my lonely bed in the attic. But that's where my bed was. In the farmhouse in which my family dwelt. There was no heat for the room, and I would huddle under the weight of the great patch quilt my aunt had made me for Christmas. And yet, no matter how I huddled, no matter how many times I folded the patch quilt over me, no matter how many pairs of long johns I'd put on, I was never warm. I would lie there shivering, and the mist would ooze through the room and settle upon the bed, striking to the very marrow of my bones. The giant tree beside the house would sway in the breeze, the branches scraping the roof, which was just above my head, and the wind would speak to me, compelling me to come out into the night, out into the chill, the mist onto the prairies. It was the hypnotic force of a majestic power. It could not be resisted. And so I would cast aside the quilt and step from my bed. Those were the only times the floor never creaked. Once risen, I walked to the window, threw open the shutters, climbed out to the giant tree, and down to the ground. I was not cold. In fact, though the ground had frost on entire, and I was in my bare feet, wearing only my nightshirt.
And your long johns?
And my long johns. I was growing warmer and warmer. I was drawn across the yard, moving slowly at first.
Yes.
My footprints small and steaming behind me.
Yes.
To the fence I'd go. And there at the gate, was a tall man, a huge man, a giant man.
Oh.
The Baron. He took my hand. You are not afraid, he said. No, I replied. I'm not afraid. Good, he said. You understand the wind has things to say to those who listen. We must go. There is little time for this. And then he led me by the hand. I, the willing victim. He took me to his castle in the mist. And there he taught me all the things the wind has to teach.
You never told me.
I never told anybody. You would have laughed at me, all of you. Nobel Prize to a crackpot. Every great contribution to science, every acknowledged advance, every discovery, I learned from the wind under the tutelage of the Baron.
But why have you come back here?
The Baron and I had a falling out. You see, the things that the wind told me, I saw them as useful in the world. And I was of the world. The Baron is not, was not, and never will be. He wanted to keep the secrets of the wind from the world. When I left, I broke the compact between the Baron and I. He swore to exact revenge. I was the only friend he ever had. The only one who wasn't afraid of him. He trusted me. He shared his secret with me, and I took it to the world.
Well, what will he do? What can he do?
He can do a great deal. His powers are amazing, incredible. Yet, we have one hope.
What hope can there possibly be?
That I have listened more attentively than he. That I know more than he. This we must discover, and we shall. This is the last test. I must face him now. Only the defeat of the Baron will set me free and make me a man to myself. It begins tomorrow. There will be no wind nights. I know this and more. For the wind has told me a secret.
We are all rested, I see.
Good to see you, Baron.
And you, young Nigel. It has been a long time. And yet, curiously, not long at all.
As you say, Baron.
And you are, of course, none other than Vanessa Herdstrom, the most beautiful of the beautiful, seductress, as it were.
She is none other.
May I kiss your hand?
Nigel?
Allow the Baron. He is above all else a gentleman.
Enchanté, madame.
That's French.
Indeed.
Baron, you're looking very well. You seem not to have changed over these many years.
But you have, haven't you, young Nigel? You have grown to manhood. You've won laurels and honors in the world. I must say you wear them well. And I am honored that you have not forgotten your humble teacher.
Well, perhaps not so humble. But yes, my teacher.
And it has come to this. The pupil is challenging the master.
It is the way of things.
I had hoped it could be otherwise. It is a foolhardy thing you do, and you well know it.
I do it nonetheless.
I offer you the opportunity to change your mind. Now that you approximate me in wisdom, talent, and wit, you could be a delightful companion, even more so than in your youth.
Ah, that is a gracious offer, I do admit indeed, Baron. I, too, regret the loss of our former companionship. You were the only person in the world who knew more than I did. But I'm afraid we have this basic difference. My worldliness set against your isolation. A difference that wounds, indeed, the fatal flaw in our friendship.
Have it as you will, young Nigel. You are the one I have allowed to retain his free will. But before we begin, let me show you the castle. I've had it redone since you were last here. Follow me. Remember, young Nigel, your favorite room, the dungeon.
Oh, yes, exactly as I remembered it.
This I kept quite the same as it was. For you, memories, eh?
Oh, a good time. Fondly remembered.
Yes, yes. And here, the rack. This was where you did the schoolmaster who failed you in mathematics, was it not?
Yes, I had the answer right, but he said I didn't put the method down that I used to arrive at it. A conventional man. And he died conventionally, screaming.
And here, the whipping post, and there, the swinging razor. Elementary and crude, but fun, what?
How simple but fun, yes.
Of course, you advanced so quickly, it was no time at all till you were into voodoo. Here, the first dolls you made, how crude they were.
You played with dolls?
Very special dolls, my love. Very special. You see, my cruel uncle, hard, Clay, came down with a splitting headache, didn't he?
Yes, split his head.
Of course, there are no mementos of the later things. It's all done with the mind, then. Sometimes I often regret that. Very little left for nostalgic values.
If you want a little nostalgia, I could simply project a memory on the wall. Say, perhaps the little sex pot who refused to dance with you. I thought that slightly cruel of you.
But she was so outrageously cruel to me.
You needn't justify it to me, Nigel. I admired all you did. You were a delightful student, so quick and so perceptive. Are you sure you won't change your mind? Restore the good old days? Take up residence here and toy with the local inhabitants. Perhaps topple an empire or two? Fun and games, whining and wenching like the good old days, eh?
Positive.
Well, then, I suppose we'd better get at it.
At what?
You'll see. Fool not with the falcon, lest she can fly.
Nigel, I can't move.
Nor I. He has trapped us in the force of his superior willpower.
I do not stop him.
I'll try. It's no use. I can't break his force.
Is he stronger than you?
Yes, his will is stronger. But perhaps I'm cleverer. I have a plan. But I must wait for the proper moment to use it.
I'm frightened.
With good cause. Yes, with good cause. You see, you're completely in my power. I can do with you as I wish. Something simple, perhaps, turn you into frogs. Or something complicated, like hurling you into the void for an eternity.
You were never needlessly cruel, Baron.
You have committed the ultimate sin, Nigel. The violation of friendship. That sin alone justifies any cruelty.
But Vanessa, she's committed no sin. Let her go, Baron. She hasn't harmed you.
True. Nevertheless, I have need of her. She fits supremely into my plans. Yes, Vanessa Sjöström, the most beautiful of all women I have planned for you. We must prepare everything. It will be difficult, this one. It must be done perfectly from start to finish. Come, my dotish assistant.
What does he mean? Prepare.
I don't know. Usually he doesn't need to prepare anything. He simply wills it to happen, and it happens. This bodes no good for us, Vanessa.
You mean it bodes ill?
Yes, that's what it bodes.
Nigel, at this time, I should like to say, you have been a good husband to me. I forgive you your trespasses. I love you with my very heart and soul. If I must die, then I wish it to be here at your side.
Fear not. I shall extricate us.
Perhaps we ask too much, Nigel. I mean, we have so much. I, the most beautiful, you, the most brilliant. Do we need everything to be perfect? Talk to the Baron. We'll leave him alone if he leaves us alone.
Things are never quite that simple.
Oh, try.
I can't.
Why not?
Honor forbids it.
By all means, honor. At all costs, honor. Oh, Nigel, I only want the best for us.
You need only be your beautiful self. I will determine what's best for us.
Yes, Nigel, as you say.
Bring it in here. That's fine. Well, Nigel, here you see it. The machine. Can you guess what it is?
Mm-hmm. Matched force fields, incision inserters, tubing, bottles, the standard medical paraphernalia. Yes, I'd say a transplant device of some kind.
Ah, so clever, my pupil, so clever. True. It's a transplant device, but of what kind?
An unusual kind, I would say. Yes, the only one in the world. Large and complicated. Must have taken you ages to design and construct.
Yes. Well, I can't keep you in suspense any longer. This device concerns you, Vanessa. And you, Nigel.
I thought as much.
So perceptive.
Yeah, you taught me.
You may prepare the device, assistant. Let me present the problem, and we'll see if you can decipher the solution. For years, I have suffered from an ailment which can only be described as acute loneliness. You needn't feel pity for me. I thought I had a solution with you, Nigel, and for a while it worked. But then you deserted me, and that set me to thinking. I discovered the last frontier. The one thing that has never been done. The one thing that seems virtually impossible. But if it could be done, it would solve my problem.
I begin to suspect. I think you're going too far this time, Baron.
We shall see. In any case, I have little to lose.
Perhaps more than you think.
Nigel, tell me, what is he planning?
There is one thing the world is lacking. An intelligent, beautiful woman.
The very thing I feared.
I am going to create one, and she will be my companion. A worthy mate for myself. Vanessa, I'm going to transplant Nigel's brain into your body.
That's impossible.
Not at all. This device, this machine, will infuse all of Nigel's wisdom, knowledge, wit, and charm into your head. I'll make only one slight alteration. I shall program you to an absolute loyalty to me.
Stop him, Nigel!
I can't. Nobody can stop me. Nobody. Are we ready? Good. Let us begin.
He's dead.
How? What happened?
The assistant pushed him into the force field. It disintegrated him.
How awful. Why did she? Why?
Jealousy. You see, the wind told me she loved him.
But she killed him.
Rather than see him with another woman. One possessing more than she had.
I don't understand.
I do. You see, the Baron was never content. If only he could have accepted her, beautiful though dull she was, he could have been perfectly happy. That was his fatal error. The dream of an intelligent, beautiful woman. I have never made that error. Come, Vanessa. We're free now.
I don't understand.
It is not necessary for you to understand.
But I don't understand. Nigel. Nigel, I don't understand. Nigel?
Theater 1030 has presented Trespassers Will Be Experimented Upon, a lighthearted and somewhat disrespectful tale of the supernatural, devised by Anthony Lee Flanders. John Scott was heard as Nigel Herdstrom, Donna Miller as Vanessa, his charming wife, with Sandy Webster as the villainous Baron von Schenk, and Peg Dixon as his tongue-tied assistant. Sound effects were by John Sliz. Technical operation, Robert Burt. Theater 1030 is a CBC Toronto presentation. This is Bill Lorne speaking.
This is the CBC Radio Network. CBL, dial 740 in Toronto at 10:30, where the temperature now in Toronto is 54 degrees.
Theater 1030.
There was no single trail of 98, as many people suppose. The Stampeders advanced on the Klondike like a great army, executing a giant pincer movement, and those who took part in it poured in from every point of the compass. The main force, planning a frontal assault, was concentrated in the teeming anthills of the White and the Chilkoot Passes. Far to the west, small platoons and companies were making minor flanking movements over the pitted glaciers that sprawl across the mountainous southern coastline of Alaska. But the great left arm of the pincer, several battalions strong, was advancing up the Yukon River from the Bering Sea by steamboat. A central column was forcing its way northward to the very heart of British Columbia, following the route of an almost forgotten trail cut many decades before by the Western Union Telegraph Company in an attempt to link Siberia with the United States by cable. This column was joined by a second, moving by steamboat, dog team, and foot up the Stikine River from the Pacific coast and heading for Teslin Lake on the headwaters of the Great Yukon. The massive right arm of the pincer, at least a brigade in strength, was launched from Edmonton. From this point, it fanned out into companies and platoons and sections, trickling to the Peace River country, struggling through the canyons and rapids of the Liard, pouring down the Mackenzie to the Arctic Circle, and filtering over the continental backbone at a dozen different points, almost to the edge of the Arctic Ocean itself.
Theater 1030. Theater 1030, presenting the fourth of a five-part series based on Pierre Burton's book, Klondike. Prepared for radio by Bill Fraser. Produced and directed from CBC Calgary by Fred Diel, with original music composed and conducted by Tommy Banks. Starring the author as our host and guide, Pierre Burton.
The headwaters of the Yukon River rise some 15 miles from the Pacific Ocean and then meander for more than 2,000 miles across the face of the north before emptying into that same Pacific. In the course of that long, twisting journey, the Yukon is joined by the waters of 1,000 streams. The river starts as a trickle in the mountain snowfields and pushes north 300 miles to where it's joined by the Klondike. It flows northwest to the rim of the Arctic Circle, and there it falters as if unsure of itself, vacillates momentarily, changes its mind, turns in its tracks, and, with newfound assurance, plunges southwestward, defying every obstacle, until, with the goal in sight, it spreads itself wide in a mighty delta and spends itself at last on the cold waters of Norton Sound across from the easternmost tip of Siberia. If someone started at Dawson City, they could travel the Yukon downstream to the ocean. Conversely, it was logical in 1898 to assume that if you started at the ocean, you could travel all the way upstream to Dawson City.
The Five Trails of 98 with Pierre Burton. Part 4, The Rich Man's Route.
They didn't hang W.D. Wood. Wood, the mayor of Seattle, was attending a convention in San Francisco when the news of the Klondike gold strike broke. He immediately wired his resignation home, and before the month was out, he'd raised $150,000, chartered himself an ocean steamer, the Humboldt it was called, and formed the Seattle and Yukon Trading Company. The destination of the Humboldt was the mouth of the Yukon, because it was by this all-water route that its passengers hoped to ride comfortably all the way to Dawson and a fortune in gold. The Yukon was called the rich man's route because to anybody with money, it certainly seemed the easiest approach to the Klondike. It was a long way round, 3,000 miles from Seattle to the port of St. Michael, and then 1,700 miles more upstream to Dawson City. But in theory, at least, no one needed to walk a foot of the distance. It was a boat ride all the way. 1,800 stampeders chose to buy their way around the left flank and take the all-water route in the fall of 1897. With them, they brought their hopes, their dreams, their schemes, even colonization schemes.
Will the Yukon-Brooklyn Colonization Committee of the Beecher Memorial Church please come to order? Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we have several resolutions on the agenda today. The first, I believe, is one held over from our last meeting and not yet voted upon. It was moved by Brother McFall and Sister Lundy that when the city of New Brooklyn, Alaska, is incorporated, gamblers, drunkards, and other unchristian citizens will be banned. The sale of intoxicating beverages will be illegal, and the Sabbath will be respected from midnight Saturday until midnight Sunday. Now, may we have a vote on this? Ayes? Aye. All those opposed? Well, the ayes have it. Now, is there any further business?
Reverend Snodgrass, there's one thing I'm not too clear about. Exactly where is the site of our colony to be located?
In Alaska, Sister Jenkins.
Well, I was wondering if you could be more specific. I was looking at a map of Alaska.
I see. Well, I think the best thing that I can do is turn the meeting over to Brother Silas, temporarily. As you know, he has been to Alaska, and he has been a guiding light to all of us in this holy undertaking. Brother Silas Meek.
Thank you, Reverend Snodgrass. I'm glad, Sister Jenkins, that you have brought this up. It's good that we're now getting down to the meat, so as to speak, of this whole adventure. The location of the city of New Brooklyn, Alaska, will be on the Yukon River, several hundred miles from the mouth of that stream at the foot of Mount Ararat.
Biblical name?
Yes, sir, a biblical name. And just as the original mountain of that name was a boon to mankind, so will our Mount Ararat. This towering edifice, ladies and gentlemen, is the mountain which is the fountainhead of the Klondike Goldfield. The land at its feet is held by friends of mine, good Christian men all, who will let us have it for a song. The ground is literally salted with gold, and the streams run over sand that glitters in the sun. It is this wealth that will permit us all to live out our God-fearing lives without the need of paying taxes. That will allow us to do God's work without being indebted to the evil usurer. That will assure us that the New Brooklyn will rapidly surpass its namesake, our hometown, in size. In fact, brothers and sisters, I predict that New Brooklyn, Alaska, a city of gold, will eventually become the largest community of man in the Western Hemisphere.
If the colonization scheme planned by the congregation of the Beecher Memorial Church of Brooklyn, New York, was the most intriguing, it was not the craziest. All across the land, syndicates, cooperatives, and companies are being formed to exploit some aspect of the Klondike. The wildest plans seemed practical as the continent went Klondike crazy. The Klondike and Cuba Ice Towing and Anti-Yellow Fever Company proposed, with a wild disregard for ocean geography, to tow icebergs from the Klondike to the South Seas, where it was firmly believed they could be transformed into cold compresses to alleviate the suffering of fever victims. And then there was the Irish woman who planned to take a group of children to the Klondike. She would teach them lessons by day, they would dig gold by night. And there was the dancing master who planned to practice his craft in Dawson City. He was going to teach the two-step to the Indians and to the miners during the winter. All summer, he would dig gold. That was the operative word, dig. To many, it was just as simple as that. You stuck your spade into the golden soil, and you shoveled the results into the bank. Well, the wretched little port of St. Michael, with its melancholy mud flats and its gray warehouse and its rusty cannon and its stink of rotten fish, was perched on a volcanic island in the Bering Sea, just to the north of the delta of the Great Yukon River. And it became the Alaska base for those who so short a time before had dreamed of sailing from Seattle or San Francisco to Dawson City in style and in comfort.
I still think we should have strung Wood up back there in San Francisco. Tried to rob us. Brought us here without telling us what to expect.
Yeah. And here we are, building boats, working like blessed slaves.
It was supposed to be the easy way to get to the gold fields. You'll travel in style if you come with me. Ride by boat right into Dawson City. Just pay your money and cruise to riches. So far, the only one who's stealing the riches is old W.D. Wood himself.
That's right. And the other day, he tried to run out on us. Well, he didn't get away with that.
Oh, sirree. Whatever we go through, he's going to be with us. Hey, here comes old Coot now.
Bully for you.
Just fine. Just fine. Why, we'll have these two steamboats finished and launched in no time. Yes, sir, in no time at all.
We'll have them finished and launched. I don't see you raising a sweat.
I hear you talking, Harry, old boy, but as you well know, there has to be supervision.
And guess who elected himself to supervise, eh? Well, Mr. Supervisor, How about supervising a better mess hall?
Well, I've eaten there, and I thought the meals were rather good.
Good? It's worse than a Bowery soup kitchen. We pay good money and are treated worse than bums in a flophouse.
We worked for our supper, too, building these boats. Hey, how come you didn't tell us we couldn't sail the Humboldt right upriver to Dawson? I never said...
That's right. You said nothing. But you knew what we all believed.
Now we have to stop and build these river boats. And the delay will make it rough getting to Dawson before freeze up.
It took 3 weeks to build the 2 steamboats being constructed by the Wood party. The largest was christened the Seattle No. 1, but unofficially dubbed the Muckluck because of her uncanny resemblance to that piece of Eskimo footwear. The smaller vessel was called the Mae West. There was considerable rivalry to see which vessel would start off first. The Mae West won by a day, but it really made no difference. Neither one was to see Dawson until after the spring breakup. While hundreds of stampeders set off from the mouth of the Yukon bound for Dawson City, hundreds more in Dawson City were boarding every available riverboat in an attempt to flee the Klondike. The terrible specter of famine faced the citizens of the Golden Town. Because, you see, the supply boats arriving at Dawson hadn't brought any extra supplies except whiskey and hardware. Dawson was bursting at the seams with hungry people. News of the gold strike had brought in every prospect in the Northwest. Now the first of the outside stampeders had begun arriving, so the situation was becoming quite critical. Inspector Constantine of the Northwest Mounted Police came up from his headquarters at 40 Mile. He looked the situation over, and he came to the conclusion that 1,000 people would have to be evacuated from Dawson. They couldn't get far before freeze-up, but with luck, he felt they might reach Fort Yukon, 340 miles downriver, where several steamboats loaded with food were stranded. It was a sad sight. Those leaving, crowding up the gangplanks of the steamers, the Portasby Weir and the Bella, like defeated soldiers, the leaden and wintry sky hanging over them like a pall. Out into the channel chugged the steamers, leaving behind a forlorn huddle of townspeople who watched these last links with civilization vanish downstream. They couldn't know, and if they had known, they certainly would never have believed that at this same moment, other boats down the river were fighting against time and weather, trying to reach the Klondike before the freeze-up began. At this point, the situation along the river was completely confused, and the ice-choked waters were thick with boats, some going up and some going down. Boats fleeing from Dawson met other boats jammed with men and women equally desperate to reach the gold fields at any cost. So that when the freeze-up came, some 2,500 people were stranded along the 1,700 miles of river between Norton Sound and Dawson City. Camps sprang up all along the Yukon, at Circle City, at Fort Yukon, and at the new boomtown of Rampart. The 2 steamers of the Woods expedition were not able to navigate more than half the distance to the Klondike before they were frozen fast. And there was Dawson, still 800 miles and 9 months away. Around the immobilized steamers, a jerry-built cluster of cabins and shacks sprang up. They called it officially Woodworth in honor of W.D. Wood, the former mayor and Captain Worth of the Mae West, but it was generally referred to as Suckerville by the disgruntled inhabitants.
Come to order.
I say there, Mr. Chairman. Is his worship the mayor of Suckerville going to be in attendance?
I hope to tell you. The boys have just gone to get him. Now, speak of the devil.
You've labeled him correctly. I must protest.
You're doing a lot of protesting these days, Wood.
Well, so are members of this here expedition.
And with better reason than you.
You robbed us for the last time. You always say we should have strung him up in French. And like correcting past mistakes, I say. What we should have done at Frenchman can still be done at Sackerville.
All right, quiet. Come on. Everybody quiet down. Now, Wood, people have formed this committee and arrived at a decision. It's this, pure and simple. We're running desperately short of supplies in this camp, and you have...
Those are my They don't belong to this here expedition. I invested money in them. Purchased them in San Francisco for resale in Dawson.
At inflated prices.
At fair prices. Considering the risk and the trouble of hauling them inland.
You can't feed everything, Wood. You bought the supplies with the exorbitant profits you made from us. We've hauled them for you without receiving so much as a thank you. And you talk of risk and trouble. Well, our risk, our trouble.
Oh, bloody sweat, Wood. I'm the damn crook. Hang him and take the supplies. By right, this should be ours anyway. Hang him and let's be done with it.
All right. Settle down. Quiet. Wood, for 2 cents, I'd turn you over to Pete and the boy. But the committee's agreed to present an offer, if this meeting agrees. You sell us the supplies at Seattle prices, all of them. And I might mention, Wood, if you don't like that offer, we'll take them.
You leave me a little choice.
We leave you no choice.
I still say, hang the old tooth and let's take the supplies. Hang on now. Settle down. I say the committee's offer is a good one. Let's not do anything we'll regret. Let's not stain our hands with anyone's blood. Not even the blood of the Lord Mayor of Suckerville.
Quiet. Come on, settle down. All right. What's the meeting's pleasure? Will we accept the committee's suggestion and buy the supplies at Seattle prices? Could I have a show of hands? Now, all in favor of buying the supplies, raise your hands. All against? Well, then it's settled. We buy the supplies.
I still think we should hang him.
As soon as opportunity afforded, the ex-mayor of Seattle escaped from Suckerville and made his way back to St. Michael on foot. It was an arduous trip, but anything was better than the ceaseless recriminations that dinned into his ears day and night. While Wood Suckerville was being established, the new boomtown of Rampart City was taking shape about 100 miles further up the river. With steamboats frozen in all along, Rampart expanded until it had a population approaching 1,000 people. Its leading citizen was Rex Beach, the novelist. Its poorest cabins were selling for $800. Its lots were fetching $1,200. And only 43 stampeders, just 43, who left the States early in the spring and summer, ever reached Dawson before the freeze-up. No one who left after August was able to reach the Klondike by the all-water route during the 1897 navigation season. Of those forced to winter along the river, none reached Dawson until June of 1898, and many never reached it at all.
Steamboat a-coming.
Sure hope it's loaded with supplies.
More than likely it's loaded with more gold-crazy idiots from the outside. They're coming at us from every direction.
Released from their icy shackles by the spring breakup, the boats began coming to Dawson with stampeders who'd spent the entire winter frozen in along the course of the Yukon River. When the innocents paid their money and sailed to the United States, they left convinced that they would enjoy a comfortable boat ride all the way to the Klondike. That was what they were told the rich man's route offered. What they failed to understand was the shortness of the navigation season on the Yukon. By the spring of 1898, they were somewhat poorer financially, but considerably richer in wisdom.
What took you so long to get here, sweetie?
The Alaska winter. We was froze downstream for almost 6 months. Froze solid.
Good thing you didn't get here earlier. You'd have starved to death.
Is that worse than freezing to death?
You ain't dead yet, lover boy.
You better believe it.
Say, I hear tell the Yukon River's called the rich man's route to the gold fields.
That's right.
You don't look too prosperous, but that don't mean much in these here parts.
Yeah.
You ain't loaded with loot, are you, honey?
Look, any money I had went to Old Man Wood. He picked us all like a bone. I got to go out into the gold fields and gather me up some nuggets.
Come back and see me if you do.
I'll do just that.
Just not 3 times. And ask for me.
And, of course, that's all so many of them thought they had to do. Just go out and take a pick or a shovel and dig up the gold. The genuine prospectors knew better. And it was the old sourdoughs who made whatever real money was made in the Klondike gold fields. It was the imaginative businessmen and women who literally picked up the gold, but they picked it up in the streets and saloons of Dawson City rather than from the gravel in the beds of the creeks running into the Klondike. The thousands of stampeders who had hibernated in the fog-shrouded banks of the Yukon during the winter of 1897-98 had set off mechanically for Dawson when the ice broke in the spring. The urge to reach the Klondike had become a habit more than an obsession. And when at last they walked down the gangplank at Dawson, many turned right about face and went home again. Others discovered the fallacy of their dream of picking up easy riches, and then they too departed. A few worked in the gold fields. Some found employment in town. Not many took any riches out of the Yukon. Maybe the men who went to the Yukon in 98 weren't seeking gold so much as they were seeking escape. Escape from a nagging wife, an overpowering mother-in-law, or a bill collector, or a deflowered virgin, or maybe just simple escape from the very drabness of the ungay 90s. And maybe many discovered more than gold. Maybe they discovered that no one escapes by running away. For who can run away from himself?
The Rich Man's Route, from Pierre Burton's book, Klondike. The Rich Man's Route. Episode 4 in our Theater 1030 series, 5 Trails of 98. Adapted from Pierre Burton's book, Klondike, by Bill Fraser. Original music composed and conducted by Tommy Banks. In the cast tonight, you heard Henry Comer as the mayor of Seattle, W.D. Wood. With Michael Tabbitt as the preacher, Gary Files as Silas, Bert Cairns as the chairman. Jack Goff, Bill Berry, Michael Ball, and Bill Spearstra were heard as the Stampeders, with Tim Christensen, Jill Scholl, and Bob Cruz as townspeople and bystanders. Sound and special effects and technical operations by Peter Bentley, Ralph Thurn, and Gary Radcliffe. Production and direction by Fred D.L. 5 Trails of 98 is a CBC Calgary production. Tomorrow night, the last episode is called The Long Trail. Norris Vick speaking.